Good Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the daily video forecast discussion for another hazy, hot, and very humid day, Wednesday, the 18th of June, 2014. Not much of a change from yesterday morning's surface chart, except the temperatures are now already in the mid and upper 70s, and they're going to be climbing well into the 80s and 90s in most locations today, even 80s around the beaches with a westerly flow as we see a disturbance passed through to our north. Late last night and early this morning through the Hudson Valley region produced a lot of wind damage there. We'll show you that in just a moment. As a result, the thunderstorms collapsed as they made their way through eastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey, and we're not really going to expect anything today, just hazy, hot, and humid weather, so keep the air conditioners on and keep the water ready nearby as you're going to need plenty of hydration today. There's also excessive heat warnings or heat watches in the Philadelphia metro area. We'll get to that in just a moment too. These are our watches and warnings here. These are heat advisories until 7 p.m. tonight from noon to 7 p.m. Maximum heat index values in the middle and upper 90s. Maximum temperatures in the middle 90s. The maximum temperatures and the heat value indexes are expected to occur during the mid and late afternoon hours. The heat and humidity will create a hazard for anyone spending time outdoors today, especially those taking part in strenuous outdoor activity and exercises. Also, the excessive heat and humidity and the resulting physical stress is particularly dangerous for elderly and for the very young. Morning surface chart from weatherroanoke.com and Digital Atmosphere Software shows our one disturbance now well off into the eastern United States, northeastern coastlines here of southern New England. We still have a frontal trough in the vicinity of our region, as we can see the dip in the height falls here. We have a nearly stationary front to our north and west over the Great Lakes with plenty of convection to the north of it. And as a result, this front is slowly making its way south and east across the region and will probably pass through during late tonight and early tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, heat advisories are in effect for much of the Philadelphia and urban areas of interior New Jersey for this afternoon, but everywhere outside of the immediate coast could see temperatures in the 90s today, and even at the coast with a westerly downsloping flow, temperatures could reach the 80s too, with not too much progress of a sea breeze again during today. Not much change in the allergies either. They're in the medium side right through Friday, and they'll be on the lower side on Saturday and Sunday. Based on the pollen counts and expected weather conditions, pollen levels on Thursday will be falling into the moderate range, and this decrease is due to falling temperatures, higher dew points, and the lack of strong winds. Grasses, dock, and plantain remain the primary predominant pollens. For the aviational weather deck during today will be rain-free in much of our region. However, showers and thunderstorms may overspread the region from the west and southwest for tonight. The precipitation may cause conditions to drop briefly to MVFR or even IFR. The timing, coverage, and impact of any precipitation tonight remains fairly uncertain, so no mention has been included in the terminal area forecast at this point. The west wind at speeds of 8 to 12 knots is expected for today. The wind may gust to near 20 knots at times. The wind speed is forecast to diminish to around 4 to 8 knots for tonight, and the wind is expected to shift to the north with the passage of the cold front. Thursday, mainly VFR conditions, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, moderate to high confidence on that. Thursday night through Friday, mainly VFR. There's high confidence of that. That's good news. Friday night, MVFR or lower, possibly in shower or thunderstorm, especially south. Low confidence on location of that, and basically VFR conditions on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. That's good. A chance of mainly afternoon shower or thunderstorm across the region. Right now at Newark Airport, it's 81 degrees already. Humidity 53%. It's 81 degrees at 7 a.m. this morning. That's incredible. Dew point 62. The wind is basically out of the west at around 9 knots. And we have some leftover clouds at 25,000 feet and some few cumulus clouds at 14,000 feet. VFR conditions. Philadelphia, 79 degrees. Humidity 60%, dew point 64. And the wind is out of the southwest, almost due west at about 9 knots. Broken ceilings left over from the debris of the thunderstorms to our north this morning. Broken ceilings at 30,000 and a few scattered clouds at about 20,000 too. Morning pass of the visible satellite this morning. Clear skies in the wake. A few high stream clouds left over. Here's our frontal boundary as well to our north and west here, and a few disturbances in this flow entering Pennsylvania and off the Great Lakes here. A dry subsidence and a westerly flow here. 850 millibar temperatures are quite warm, meaning temperatures at the surface today are going to be well into the upper 80s and lower 90s, many locations, including the coast, with very little sea breeze influence. Here is our mesoscale convective complex along the frontal boundary here up towards the Great Lakes. A little bit more lifting in western Pennsylvania. All of this is diving to the south and east and will remain to our west and south during most of today. Latest radar mosaic showing what was left over from thunderstorms last night, early this morning, as that collapsed across our region, and showers and thunderstorms again across western Pennsylvania and up towards the Great Lakes over the top of the ridge here, and these will continue to be away from our region during today. And out of the 78 total rain gauges here, the river flood gauges here, none of them expected to be anywhere near flood stage right through the 27th of June. Yesterday, sea breeze front had temperatures in the 80s before the wind shifted around near Belmar and temperatures dropped into the 70s. That's not going to be the case today. We're expecting mostly sunny skies at the beaches, temperatures in the upper 80s, all areas, beach winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles an hour. The sea's around 2 feet. Surf temperature between 65 and 70 degrees. UVI index is high at 9. You can get burned within 15 minutes on exposed skin without sun protection. There's a low risk of rip currents, however, never swim alone. Swim in lifeguarded areas and use a flotation device. Rip currents are possible elsewhere, especially during the low portion of the tide cycle. And the next high tide at Atlantic City will be at 12:46 this afternoon. And as that disturbance raced through southern New York late last night, early this morning, it populated an area of tree damage, thunderstorm wind damage across the Hudson Valley area north of Poughkeepsie into Albany and Schenectady, and then out into Massachusetts, Springfield, and other areas in western Massachusetts. We even had a house being struck by lightning here in the New Bedford area on Rhode Island. Latest morning run of the HRR model, high-resolution rapid refresh from Penn State's eWall site, shows the convection remaining to our south and west today. Later this afternoon and this evening, showers and thunderstorms could be populating certain areas. They'll be isolated and scattered about in nature with generally dry conditions and just debris, high cirrus clouds from these showers and thunderstorms to our south and west. So most of today will be dry. Can't rule out the possibility of an isolated shower or thunderstorm, especially southern sections of the Delmarva and southern New Jersey, isolated in nature late this afternoon and this evening as the cold front drops south through the region. Latest NAMWRF composite reflectivity forecast from Penn State's eWall site shows the cold front barely making its way through the region late tonight, early tomorrow morning. As a result, some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms even showing up on the NAM here. For the coastal regions and the Delmarva regions, watch out for heavy downpours in those, lightning and some hail. Other than that, a spotty outlier or thunderstorm across coastal sections, maybe early tomorrow morning or late tonight, and then mostly just patchy leftover clouds and less humid conditions gradually working into the area. Tomorrow's temperatures are still going to get into the 80s, but they won't be as warm as today or yesterday, and the humidity values will be dropping significantly as well. The front will probably remain just to our south and west. A few more disturbances running through the flow on Thursday afternoon could provide an isolated to scattered shower or thunderstorm once again across the region. And then drier air really does begin to filter in on Thursday night. Could have some leftover low stratus and fog before the clearing takes hold, but basically scattered cloud cover, much drier conditions, and a northerly flow of air here by the time we get to Friday. This onshore flow will keep some cloud cover around, especially late night, early morning hours. Patchy clouds there, mostly clear skies, interior sections, and precipitation will remain to our south and west with generally drier conditions. GFS forecast maps into motion. Heat radiator, cold front passing through the region, and then high pressure begins to build in across the region. We still have a blocked up pattern here. Our upper low cut off in the northern Atlantic, high pressure trying to build in the wake of it across the Hudson's Bay region into the mid-Atlantic and New England coastal states, being fought off by this ridge of, or heat ridge of high pressure and a stalled out frontal boundary with scattered showers and thunderstorms along it. And our deep cutoff low here, or just deep low actually, it's not cutoff low, it's a deep low in the south of the Aleutian Islands, keeping a very active polar jet stream in place. Now, the models over the last couple of days have been wavering where to put the front, and that is the determination of showers and thunderstorms and what your weekend weather looks like. Right now it's looking mostly dry as compared to earlier, as a result of high pressure building in across the region. and keeping the precipitation shield to our south and west. And this looks like it's going to continue. Some areas may still see a front, an area of low pressure on the front to our south, moving through the region on Saturdays, particularly southern New Jersey and the Delmarva region. That's to be remains in question. And then the high pressure builds over the top here on Saturday and Sunday, keeping our atmosphere generally dry with scattered cloud cover and temperatures seasonal in the low to the mid 80s across the region. And things become more interesting again next week as more disturbances in this flow become amplified with the trough axis now building in across the eastern Great Lakes. It's still a positively tilted trough, lowering heights and keeping plenty of juice in the atmosphere for the chance of showers and thunderstorms ongoing as the front decides whether it's going to move back up north as a warm front or remain to the south, and then disturbances in the polar flow moving forward. So one more day of temperatures in the 90s with high dew points and high humidity. Be careful out there today. Hydration is key. And do check on your pets and elderly, obviously, as you always naturally should. Cooler weather, I should say somewhat cooler weather. Definitely drier weather is on the way for the later part of the week, but scattered showers and thunderstorms will continue to end this period. And right now we're looking for generally a fair weekend. Scattered cloud cover, temperatures in the 80s, a few isolated showers or thunderstorms still possible on Saturday in certain locations, but not a washout for anyone by all means. And then we do it again next week and see how far north or south the frontal boundary is, the air masses fight, and how much precipitation and disturbances move in through the flow. For everything live, it's Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com on Twitter, Facebook, and Google as well. I'll be back with a daily video forecast discussion again bright and early on Thursday morning. You make it a safe and enjoyable Wednesday.